We want to talk about smart homes, but specifically how they need a heart. Before we get into that though, what is breadware and what do you do there?
Okay, fair question. So breadware is a product development company and we exclusively focus on IoT or smart products. So, for those of you sitting here in the Smart Home Pavilion, look around and these are the types of products that breadware does. We're involved in about 100, 150 a year. And several of our clients are here showcasing at the show.
Oh, cool.
So we'll help them with the engineering, with the design, and with the movement to manufacturing with this, specific nuances of what you need to have a successful smart device.
Right. And speaking of these smart devices, how can we get them to have a heart, Daniel? They need a heart.
And what does that even mean?
I know.
Smart devices need a heart. Well, all right, so let me kind of go circuitously to the answer.
Okay.
But, if you look at the average American homeowner now, the majority of them own at least one smart device in their home, right? Whether that's a smart watch, an Apple Watch, whether it's Amazon Alexa, smart TV, most Americans have at least one smart device. And the sort of experience goes, they buy the product, they're all excited because it's their first, app-connected device. They open it up, they play with it, and then they go back to their routine and they don't use 95% of the features ever again, right? That's kind of the typical way that these smart devices go. And very few Americans actually own 6 or more products that are smart in their home. The ones who do, at that point, no longer like smart devices. They get burnt out.
They're confused now.
Yeah.
It feels like it's clutter at that point, right? Now, what am I using these for?
Well, yeah, so it's interesting. Like what people are actually describing it as is smart device fatigue. And it kind of makes sense. Like imagine you buy smart lighting and you have some other stuff installed into your house. Now you've got 10 products. They're sitting in your living room and you can't turn the lights on, right?
Yeah.
I grew up and it was easy to turn the lights on. I walked up and I flipped the switch, right? Yeah, I had to get up and walk over to the switch, but it only takes this long. Now, say there might be some sort of touch screen, right? If you have to press buttons on the touch screen and it takes longer than a switch, or you have to argue with Amazon Alexa to turn your lights on, you're going to get frustrated.
You should never have to argue with Amazon Alexa to turn the lights on. It might happen.
It's a lose-lose. She always wins. I've tried.
Oh, well, we'll have to take that offline. But also with these tech devices, not everyone is, every consumer is different.
Yeah.
Right? And so not all tech devices are going to work for everybody.
Right. Well, so kind of where we're at right now is that these smart devices, while they're amazingly cool, and I live and breathe them, I love them, they are, I think the best word is they're egg-headed, right? The devices are egg-headed. It's like going out for coffee with a rocket scientist or quantum physicist and trying to chat with them.
Which, by the way, would be fun. Yeah.
But then inviting them into your home, and they're just there, you're trying to relax, watch TV, and they're going on about something. You're like, hold on, I'm trying to relax.
Yeah, right? I get the Higgs boson theory, but just trying to chill out.
What I believe is that the sort of, we're in the early smart home era. And while we have smart devices, they still have low empathy. They still have low EQ, right? They don't get us very well. They don't speak our language too well.
So how can we make that change?
Well, all right, so you asked about the different buyers, right? So like the different types of people who are buying smart home products, why they're doing it. So that's a good question. And there was a research study done by a company called Dig Insights, Canadian company. And they pulled all these North American homeowners that had smart devices and just kind of asked them what they bought, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. They found that there's 4 personas. One is the I'm all in persona. It's like this is the early adopter. Whatever product comes out, they're going to buy it. They're going to they're going to use it. They don't care if it's egg-headed or rocket scientist type product. Like they're going to love it. It's about 10% of buyers. On the other side of the spectrum, you've got 10% of buyers who are in the not my lifetime camp.
No way.
Right? Like I don't want that stuff in my home. I'm not using it. Keep it out.
Yeah.
So that leaves this huge middle section. Like the middle majority is, yeah, I would try it, or I could take it or leave it. Like,
that's pretty good, by the way.
It's really it was impressive results to see that there are not that many folks who are dialectically opposed. But these middle majority. They're not going to deal with your egg-headed rocket scientist type product, right? Like they want something that, they can take out of the box, plug in, it works, right? Like it makes their life easier in one way or another and it kind of gets them.
Yep.
So that's the focus that smart home products need to be going for is this middle majority. Otherwise you're going to get stuck in the valley of death between the, the all-in early adopter and then these folks are really going to be the bulk of your sales.
I'm interested in that middle ground then. Is that the heart? Does the heart live within that middle?
Yeah, so I think getting the heart right unlocks access to this middle. And so Google, Google's whole smart home division has come up with this phrase that they call the thoughtful home, right? And so like the thoughtful home has a whole bunch of things, but you can kind of boil it down to 4 different areas that they see as being a thoughtful home that I'm calling has a heart.
Okay.
One is that the home is, it does predictable things for you automatically, right? It kind of learns your behavior. It knows that when you leave the house in the morning at 7 a.m., say, to drive to work, that you want the garage door to close behind you. You don't want it left open all day. And it knows that you maybe want the back sliding door open once per day for the dog to go out while you're at work. And it knows that if the dog doesn't come back in 10 minutes, you want to be notified. These types of like...
Send the dog alarm.
Yeah, these types of recurring things should just happen automatically.
Yeah.
But then the second thing is that things that are not predictable, it should ask permission before doing, right? So you're sitting in the living room, you're watching TV. The home shouldn't at 9:30 decide that, all right, it's time for you to go to bed, Carlos. Like all the lights go off, the door's locked.
I don't like this scenario.
Right, so that's annoying.
Yeah.
What would also be annoying is if you say, you had cornflakes and you ate cornflakes for breakfast 3 days in a row, that your home saw that somehow and decided Carlos loves cornflakes, and then notified you that it ordered 5 years supply, right? Also would be annoying.
Can we change that to Lucky Charms?
So that would be okay?
Yeah, that'd be okay.
I mean, all it has to do is ask permission. Carlos, do you want 5 years supply of Lucky Charms?
And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's like listening, and it makes it feel more human.
But there's definitely this AI component to it. It's like, what are types of things that are predictable? What's non-predictable? What's going to piss Carlos off if I do? What is he expecting that I do?
Cornflakes is the answer. That's going to piss me off.
So those are 2 things. So predictable things, automatic.
Got it.
Non-predictable things, ask permission. Third is it should have awareness of seasons and time of day, and it should do things to optimize energy use. Like any smart device that you put in your home should save you costs in the long run because there's better energy efficiency from these. Mm-hmm. And then the fourth is that like the rough edges of the tech need to be smoothed out, right? Like specifically the round edges. You need to create round edges on tech, and I use that phrase purposefully because of the famous Samsung Google lawsuit, right?
Right, yeah.
Or Samsung Apple, right? So Apple actually patented the round edges on the phone. Samsung, as the lawsuit goes, copied it, and that wound up being a $500 million litigation suit, right?
Crazy.
But round edges, it's just these things that make the tech feel more comfortable, feel more human.
Yeah, Apple's always been good with that.
And that's what we're not yet seeing too much in the smart home space. And one of the ways of rounding out the edges is to just, these things can interoperate together much more easily. You take it out of the box, you set it up, and it's up and running, it's working.
That was going to be my next question, is that how do we get these products to work together better so that it feels more just natural?
Yeah, well, and so that's a hard question that's going to take multiple layers to solve, but I can point to what's not the way to do it and then where we need to be for it to work. Today, we still live in the highly siloed smart device world, where each device comes with its own app, its own cloud dashboard, and you have to download it onto your phone, and you have a different interface for each one. That's where that device fatigue comes from if you have 6 of them. Where things are moving is that the homes are starting to get a physical operating system. If you have an Amazon Alexa or a Google, you have voice control, and that is then able to go and connect to the rest of your products.
It's a baseline thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting because people have been arguing over what's going to be the operating system for the home. Is it going to be some protocol? Is it going to be Z-Wave? Is it ones and zeros? No, it looks like it's going to be voice, right? Like you speak to the products and they do what you ask.
Yeah.
But that means that companies that are launching new products in the home need to be able to interface with these Googles, Amazon, Samsungs, all the ones that are doing home voice control. And that needs to be almost a seamless experience out of the box.
What products do you think are doing it well right now?
There's a handful that are doing it well. It's still challenging because you have to do not just Amazon, but you have to do Amazon, Google, Samsung, what have you, because you don't know which ones your user is going to have in their home.
Yeah.
The Philips Hue lighting, those are simple ones, but those work great, like integrate great with
I really like those, yeah.
There's actually a hilarious Amazon commercial in the Super Bowl this year on, they're kind of poking fun at themselves on the smart home stuff. They said, we've got now like 10,000 devices with Amazon Alexa skills. Here are some of the ones that weren't big hits, and it shows, the
bad ones.
A toothbrush. And, it's all in jest, they weren't real products, but a toothbrush that you're trying to talk to it, but it's in your mouth.
That goes back to that, again, tech for tech's sake. Get out of my mouth with the toothbrush.
Yeah, there was a hot tub, and people were sitting there trying to talk to it, and they kept getting squirted in the heads with the jets.
Yeah.
But Yeah, going back to like there's a central interface. Voice seems to be it, but to connect into this interface opens up for companies more security risks and vulnerabilities than if you keep it siloed. If you keep it siloed, you have control over all the layers. As you start to interoperate, there's already security challenges with these products, and that makes the problem grow exponential.
Yeah, I was just going to say privacy concern is part of this conversation now.
Yeah.
Because are you going to share all this data, and then where's that data going to go?
Right. And well, what's important is for companies that are launching devices that are collecting data, to be able to say straightforward to your customer that the data is owned by you, right? If you want to delete the data, that's your prerogative. Like, it's not getting stored on our server somewhere. Yeah. That's something that's very important to modern buyers. If they're looking at putting a connected device in their home. But it's interesting. Like, we're running a few years ahead of policy here, right? States are just now, like California at the end of 2018, launched the first cybersecurity for IoT bill.
That's just recent.
And then there's a couple states now that are also looking to launch one in 2019, and there's one at federal level. But yeah, like we're on the Wild West frontier, right? Companies are innovating as fast as possible, but
policy's
the regulation is a few years behind.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see where it goes, Daniel. And I thank you for illuminating us on this, how a home can have a heart. Or at least we can hope.
Yeah, whatever we can do to, we now have smart devices, let's get them some EQ, let's get them some empathy, let's get them to better be able to operate with us and how we expect them to behave.
Right, and don't tell me to go to bed early, smart home, and order Lucky Charms, please. Daniel, thanks so much.